Hello and welcome to another essential Matwork class. I hope you're all happy and healthy and well and ready to get started. This session is going to be essentially just a continuation and revision of the last couple of ones that we've done. So lots of rotational work, lots of contralateral movement, like one arm, one leg. And we're going to be looking a little bit at peripheral stuff and starting to look a little bit onto sort of more upper body things as well. So to get started, same thing as always, just get in position to start getting into our breathing. So just take a seat with your feet about a hip's distance apart, hands gently resting on your shins, sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through gently pursed lips as we articulate from the head down, rounding out the spine, looking down between the knees. Inhale, expand through the back, expand the chest towards the ribs, towards the thighs, out towards the side, and exhale through gently pursed lips, pulling in with the abdominal wall, pulling up on the pelvic floor. Inhale again, nice and deep, filling all three aspects of the lungs, and exhale, squeezing the air out, engaging with the abdominal muscles. Inhale, and exhale, and now on our next inhale, just articulate up the spine, head is the last thing to come up, sit tall, and exhale, come back down, articulating from the head, rounding out the spine. So when we're doing our breathing, we want to focus on three-dimensional breathing. So that means that as we inhale, the chest is expanding up and down, side to side, forwards and backwards. And then as we exhale, the diaphragm is going to raise. The pelvic floor is going to come up with it. So as you inhale, you should sort of get this feeling of everything filling from the top down, and then as you exhale, you should feel everything squeezing from the bottom up. And now articulate back up. And we're going to go down into imprint and release. Shuffle towards the end of the mat. Lie yourself down, fingertips extended down the mat. Find your neutral, so you should feel the hip bones at the back just slightly lifted up away from the mat, kind of a hand's height distance between your lower back and the mat. And now just inhale, and as you exhale, roll the pelvis towards the chest, press the lower back down into the mat, engage with the abdominals, inhale, rotate back up into neutral. Exhale into imprint, and inhale into neutral, and just keep that going, rolling between neutral and imprint, getting a feel for the two positions, and just again try to think about the abdominal connection between the pelvis and the ribs, so that as you go into neutral, you're expanding with the abdominal muscles to allow that movement into neutral, and as you go into imprint, contracting down, bringing everything together. So it's sort of a linear actuation of the entire body rather than just the pelvis rolling forwards and backwards. And now we're going to do our hip rolls. So instead of just going neutral into imprint, what I now want you to think about is as you go into imprint, keep rolling and peel the spine up away from the mat and keep on peeling until the base of your shoulder blades are just in contact. Inhale and hold here. As we exhale, lower it back down, releasing onto the mat until you reach your imprint and then return to neutral. Inhale, exhale into imprint, peel the spine up, Imagine it like a string of pearls and you're just lifting one at a time the vertebrae of your spine up away from the mat. Inhale and hold. Exhale, lower it back down. And you're trying to keep your pelvis lifted away from the mat until right at the last moment, sequentially articulating each vertebrae up away from the mat towards the sky and back down. And now we're going to do the same motion but the other way around. So flip yourself up and over into an all fours position. So your knees are under your hips distance apart. Your hands are under your shoulders, shoulders distance apart. Stabilize the scapula, length through the spine, extend the head away from you, extend the tailbone away from you. Inhale, as you exhale, tuck the tail under, and now one vertebra at a time, lift the back up towards the sky, push the shoulders up, lower the head down, look back towards your knees. Inhale, as you exhale now, lifting the tailbone up, rolling the pelvis, bring the spine back down into neutral, stabilize the scapula, lengthen through the neck, look forward ever so slightly. Inhale, exhale, repeat. Rounding out the back, up through the shoulders, look down between the knees. Inhale, exhale, and reverse it. Stretching out the back, nice and long. One last time. Inhale, and exhale, roll the pelvis up. The head stays stationary right until the last minute. It becomes your head's turn to tuck. Inhale, exhale, articulate, pushing the tailbone back and up. Engage with the abdominals, lengthen through the neck, reach the head forwards, and then just sit back there. Bring yourself back down onto the mat. And we'll do arm circles. So inhale, lift the arms up towards the ceiling or the sky and back overhead. Reach the limit of the range of motion, and then as you exhale, sweep the arms around across the floor. Inhale and up, overhead, above the head. Exhale, sweep around. Really focusing on the scapular stabilization here. Try and squeeze the pectorals together as you come up and over to hug those shoulder blades against your back and feel them drifting and gliding across the mat as you sweep the arms round. Last one here. Relax the arms down. And now head nods. Inhale, roll the head forwards. And then exhale, lift it back up. Inhale, lowering the chin, lowering the eyes. Exhale, looking straight back up. So again, find that knobbly bit on the back of your head, pressing against the mat. As you inhale, you're going to use the back of your head to push the mat away from you. And then as you inhale, bring it back up. And just relax it there. And finally working on the shoulder girdle. Feel your fingertips against the mat. Inhale, slide them down and away from you. And then exhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, slide away. Inhale, slide back up. So now we're just trying to elevate and depress those shoulder blades. Try and hug them in towards the posterior surface of your ribs. and push them back down. And now from this position, straight into our ab prep. So find your neutral, find that hand's distance between the lower back and the mat. Fingertips are extended down the mat, looking straight up towards the sky. Your feet and your knees are hips distance apart, with the knees pointed directly up. You're going to inhale, head nod. Exhale, maintaining the neutral, peel up, away from the mat. Look between the knees, inhale and hold. Exhale, lower yourself back down. So this is all about maintaining that neutral throughout the entire exercise. Very small, subtle movement. Just using the abdominal connection to draw yourself up, looking between the knees, lower yourself back down. And as I've said before, I always find it helps if you just imagine you've got someone holding onto your fingertips and they're pulling you up, away from the mat, and then they're lowering you back down again. From here, extend the legs down the mat. We're going to do our one leg circle. So starting with whatever leg you want to start on, just lift it up, away from the mat, to 90 degrees if you can. And now we're going to inhale and drop it out to the side, round and down. Exhale as it comes back up and across the body into the center. Inhaling and exhaling on each circle. We're still in our neutral, and we're maintaining pelvic stability. 3 in one direction, and then change it around. Trying to keep those circles as circular and controlled as possible. Make them as big as you can, but not at the expense of that pelvic stability, keeping the hips pointed up. Bend the knee, lower it back down. Other leg comes up. 90 degrees if you can. Inhale out the side, exhale across. Remember, you can bend your knees if you need to, but this is all about maintaining the pelvis, making sure that the only thing that's moving is the hip joint. 3 in one direction, and reverse it. Out and down, up and around. Inhale, exhale on each circle. And then bend the knee, lower it back down. And now just grab hold of the back of your legs and bring yourself up to a seated position. Take your feet out to the full width of the mat. Sit up nice and tall. So the threads pulling up on the top of the head, pushing the chest out and forwards. Lift the arms up and take them out to the edges of your periphery so you can just see your hands. Inhale to sit as tall as you can, and then exhale, rotate round, pulsing for 1, 2, 3. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. And as you're doing these pulses, there's going to be a temptation to sit back and slouch down. So make sure that you're using that abdominal connection to keep pushing yourself forwards, like you're trying to push your abs towards your feet. To sit up as tall and as straight as you can. Make sure that you're maintaining your scapular stability, so your shoulder blades are hugging the back of your ribs. We'll do one more on each side. Last one now. And back to the center. Bring yourself back down onto the mat, to the ab prep position where we started. We're going to do single leg stretch and the double leg stretch, one after another. So bring your legs up to tabletop. Bring your hands to either side of your knees and lift yourself away from the mat. And now what I want you to do is extend one leg away, bring this hand across, extend the other hand down towards the ankle. Do an inhale, exhale and switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. We're in imprint for this one, so you should feel your lower back pressed against the mat. Strong curvature through the body holding you up. And as you get comfortable with the movement, try and speed it up a little. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Our pelvis is staying fixed in position and we're moving from the hip. The legs are staying parallel and your hands are just guiding the legs in and then sending them back out and away. We'll do one more on each side. Pause there. Hands on either side of the knees. Now we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, our legs and our hands are going to reach away simultaneously and then sweep them around and in. Exhale away. Inhale, bring the hands back together. So you're taking off the top hat, sweeping the arms around, guiding the knees back in. Out together and in together. Maintaining the curvature through the back as we do this. Don't let the head reach back. Don't let the neck relax. One more. Bring the knees in and lower the head down. Bring the legs down one at a time. Take a second to just give your legs a little shake. Relax the hip flexors. Bring the legs back up to tabletop now. And then straighten them up towards the ceiling. Curve yourself away from the mat. Hands back on either side of the knees. You're going to drop one leg away. And then you're going to use your hands to guide the other one towards you for 2 little pulses. Inhale and switch. Exhale, 1, 2. So again, the curvature through the body is strong. We're using our abdominal connection, sucking the abs down towards the mat to hold ourselves in place. The pelvis is stable and immobile. And all we're doing is flexing through the hip to mobilize the legs. Make sure that the neck is lengthened, so you're looking diagonally up towards where your toes are switching over. You're maintaining that little peach distance between your chin and your chest, so don't squish the peach and don't drop it. One more on each side. Try and keep the legs straightened. Legs up together. Flex them. Lower the head down. One leg down and then the other. Bring yourself up to a seated position and we're going to do a obliques roll back. So it's the same kind of position as we started in with the breathing during the warm-up. Sitting nice and tall, arms out in front. So your arms are parallel to each other and they're parallel to the ground. Legs are hips distance apart, feet are firmly planted. We're going to push our abdominals and our chest forward to sit up as tall as we can. Inhale, and as you exhale, arms are moving apart, body is rotating, curving down. Sweep the arm back. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale to drift back, opening the arms up. So we've got that mirror on our chest, and whatever one arm is doing, the other is going to mirror it. So here we're at 90, and as we move out towards 180 degrees, the angle between the shoulder, between our arm and our chest, is going to be equal on each side. So again, we're using that abdominal connection to lower ourselves down under control and then to pull us back up again. And as you come up, sit as tall as you can, push the chest forward, come up onto your sit bones, and then sort of feel them clunk from underneath you as you come back. Arms together and lower them down. Extend the legs out in front of you your hands resting on top, sit up nice and tall. Inhale, and then as we exhale, articulate from the head down, reach the arms towards the toes, and then inhale, sit up nice and tall again. Exhale, articulate down, one vertebra at a time, going forward as far as we can, and then sit back up nice and tall. Keep that movement going, and try and imagine that you've got a set of bellows in front of you. We're sitting tall, opening up the space between us, inflating them. As we come down and exhale, we're squeezing the air out. So just imagine that you've got that void in front of you. As you're inhaling and exhaling, you're closing the void down, pressing the air out of it, and then sitting back up nice and tall again. One more. Send the head forwards, reach out, and come back up again. And now flip ourselves over, down onto the mat for swan dive, the swan dive prep. So take your feet out to the width of the mat, turn them out slightly, place your hands down on the mat on the side of you. So the position that we're moving into is a little like cobra, but instead of pushing up and kind of allowing that lower back to kink, and where you get that acute angle, what you're trying to achieve is engagement and connection down the front of the body, so you're pulling yourself up into this solid curve so that your pelvis is coming up away from the mat. And the intention is that when you go into the full swan dive, where you do the rock and catch, you want to be able to hold that kind of banana shape through the body. So what we're going to do is hover the nose away from the mat. Inhale, stabilize the scapula, lengthen through the spine. And as we exhale, push up, away from the mat. We can use our arms for this one. Maintain that banana shape. Inhale and hold, exhale, lower it back down again. Inhale and lengthen, exhale and lift. So try and feel that curvature going down through the entire body. Inhale and hold, exhale and lower. And you should feel it quite a lot down the front of the body, where the abs are trying to create that curve, trying to even out what your spine's doing. And it does really help with this one if you've got a mirror that you can look into, just to see where the curves are in your spine, to make sure that you're not collapsing into it too much like that and breaking yourself in half. Lower yourself back down, and we'll do one more. And each time, just check with what your scapula are doing. Make sure you're not hunching your shoulders up towards your ears before you push back up, away from the mat. Lift the pelvis away. Inhale, exhale and lower. And you may feel as you start to lower yourself down that your feet want to come away, because you've created that curve, which is a good thing. Now from here, just bring your knees in a little and sit straight back into a shell. Lift the lower back up, away from the thighs as you inhale. Create that space between the abdominals and the thighs. And then on your next inhale, just articulate up, stack the spine. Sit nice and tall. Reach forwards, back into an all fours position. Hands at shoulders width apart, directly under your shoulders. Knees at hips distance apart, directly under your hips. Place your toes underneath you. And we're going to do our leg pull front prep. And with this one, we're really looking at scapular stability, particularly as it relates to the serratus anterior, which is a muscle that wraps around the ribs here, and it passes across the ribs and underneath the shoulder blade. So attach onto the medial surface of it. So if you have a weak serratus anterior, it can't pull that surface of the scapula down, and so it'll wing up. So what you're looking for is almost try and squeeze your pectorals together to hug the shoulder blades down towards the back, and then all we're going to do is test that by inhaling, lengthen through the spine, push the head away from you, and as we exhale, you're just going to push down through your toes, lift the knees up and away from the mat. Inhale and hold, exhale, lower it back down again. And again, check in with the scapula, make sure that you're not collapsing down. Inhale, hold, exhale, push away. So try and come up to kind of parallel to the mat, and then lower it back down. Inhale, hold, exhale, push up. Inhale, hold, exhale, lower. And we're just going to do that one more time. And lower it back down under control. And then relax. Come down into a seated position. And we're going to attempt to do the seal. I don't expect it to work because I'm on very uneven ground here. So I'm probably just going to end up falling down that cliff there. So what we're going to do, you probably want to start off coming more towards the front of your mat. You're going to take your hands, slide them in between your legs, and then you're going to grab hold of your ankles from underneath, and then lift your feet up. So it's a similar exercise to rolling like a ball. We're maintaining a curve, a C curve through the spine. We're going to look towards our feet. So the soles of our feet are pressed together like this. So C curve through the spine, holding onto the ankles. Inhale, expand back and rock back. Exhale, no, it's not going to work, and rock forwards. We'll try that one again. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, rock forwards. If you're struggling to come back up, try lowering the feet down. The higher you have your feet, the further back you'll go, and the further forwards you have to return. So if you lower the feet down, then you don't go back as far, and I say it's much easier to come back up. Not that I'm demonstrating it very well. We're now going to add into that 3 claps, like a seal. So you're going to rock back, 1, 2, 3, rock forwards, 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3, forwards, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully you're having an easier time with this than me. Normally this would be a very smooth motion, but normally you'd be doing it on a flat surface. I'm going to try and come back a little bit because this bit feels a little bit flatter to me. So rock back, 1, 2, 3, forwards, 1, 2, 3. So try and hold your balance at each point. Just do one more. Now we're going to do our side bend. So for this one, you want to get into the position of sort of like a Greek statue in a temple. So what you're going to do is place the bottom leg down on the mat with the knee pointing away from you, and then the top leg, the foot goes down in front of it. You're going to place one hand firmly down. We're only going to do the side bend prep, so rather than coming up onto your feet, you're just going to come up onto this knee. The top hand, just place the elbow on top of the knee, square off the shoulders, don't sink down into it. So find your pelvic stability and your rib connection, hold yourself upright. Inhale, and as you exhale, send the hips away diagonally. So rather than thinking about curving the body up, think about pushing this hip away from you, and then as you come back down, you're drawing your hip down towards the mat. Inhale, exhale, send it away, and inhale, come back down again. So you're pushing up through the hand, sending the hip away from you, rolling up onto that standing knee, and then coming back down. We'll do one more on this side. Lower it back down, and then flip yourself over. So build up the position from the start. So the leg that was pointing away from you is now going to point along the mat, and then get the top foot in front, pointing in that direction. Standing hand planted down into the mat, other elbow sits on top of the knee. Pelvic stability, rib connection, all that jazz. Keep the shoulders relaxed away from the ears, so you're sat up nice and tall, like a graceful statue. Inhale, exhale, push the hip away, bring the arm up over the top. Kind of like a dolphin doing a, whatever that's called, where they dive over. Exhale, push up. Inhale, bring it back down, reset. Don't let the shoulders drop up towards the knees, not the knees, the ears. Up, over, and bring it back down. One more. Exhale, push up, over the top, put yourself upside down, and then relax it down towards the mat. And just find that position at the end before you take yourself out of it. And now to take yourself to one end of the mat. So we're going to go into a sort of elongated all-fours position. So your hands are still going to be a shoulder's width under the shoulders, but your knees are now going to be a hip's width slightly further back than your hips, so that you're sort of at an angle. We're going to do the push-up prep. So from this position, and again, this one, your scapular stability is extremely important. So make sure that you're in a good neutral position. And then what we're going to do is inhale for 3 counts as we lower down, and then exhale for 1 long count as we push back up under control. And as we go down and up, we're not going to allow the shoulder blades to wing out. I'm trying to make it happen, and I'm not very good at doing it by command, but you get the idea. So from this position, inhaling for 3, 2, 1, exhale, push back up under control. 3, 2, 1. So we're pushing up through our hands throughout. So feel the force going through the heels of your hands into the mat, gripping the mat, and kind of feel that little pulse as you drop down for 3 counts. Go as low as you can while maintaining scapular stability. One last one. And then just sit back. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today, largely because I had to film later today and I'm losing the light now, so I just wanted to make it a short one and get something recorded and out there for you. So as always, I hope you found that beneficial, and hopefully in the near future I'll be putting out the first of the intermediate Matworks as well, so I hope to see you again for that.